AI is getting out of hand. This isn't even funny anymore, right? I mean, I'm seeing videos where guys are doing cardio, guys are hitting legs, guys are doing leg curls, leg extensions, pendulum, squats, you name it. I'm seeing it at an all-time high level. Can't be real. There's no freaking chance. If we can, this is one thing I am curious about. What do you think the real percentage? Not like, sometimes my knees, like the real percentage of actual legs that get hit, even just on a weekly basis, right, by regular, guys who would categorize themselves as lifters. If you're just somebody who has like a Y membership or somebody like that where they come in, they do some stuff and they roll, they're just getting their activity for the day. But I wouldn't call that the same thing. I'm talking about, you want to be legit. Right? You care about how much you're moving, you care about your progress, but you don't care about the things below the waist. And I'm starting to, it's a force that is gaining traction and momentum, which is actually kind of freaking wild. I mean, I'm seeing videos full on like thousands of TikTok rants, car style like this, and it's, dude, you know what? Hitting legs is overrated, bro. You're wearing pants most of the time. It takes a ton of energy to recover from. And you know what? I almost want to say good. Right? Because then for us, for the guys who actually do hit legs, and can bust out a nasty set of squats or leg press or, this, that, or the other. I don't want to say a set of leg curls. I don't think anyone's really looking to impress anyone by stacking the seated leg curl. Like, it doesn't have the coolness factor of a bench. Squats, even leg press too, they've still got a little bit of a, just whoa factor. Leg curls, not so much. I wouldn't worry about the weight as much there. Right. But I mean, that's the logic. And you know what? It's kind of more of a, the fooled is to blame, right? Not the fooler. So if you get fooled into skipping legs and then you become one of those guys, that's on you, right? You know what? That's not the fault of the guy who's telling you to skip legs. And frankly, I think it might go a few steps deeper to the point where guys who actually do hit legs, like they're really thrashing them, they might be hating on legs publicly, while killing legs in private to, I guess you could kind of almost say, just sort of deflate or dip the overall populace's leg activation, right? Because if you're somebody who loves hitting legs and you're kind of priding yourself on the fact that you're busting out of your 4-inch inseam shorts or whatever your whatever your style might be, or it's hard for you to find jeans because if you find something that fits around your legs, it's like a 48 waist. This isn't supposed to be a Dave's or a Jared from Subway commercial where he's holding the pants like this wide. If you're that kind of guy, I guess if everybody else didn't do legs, it would just make you that much more impressive. So is that the secret, right? To kind of incept the idea that legs should be skipped to the to I guess what you could call gen pop, and then save the real leg gains for ourselves so that we can really be a level above, right? That's like that's like the smartest kid in your class telling you that, oh, the final exam, easy. Now you guys don't need to study, don't worry. My older brother took this class. Don't sweat it, easiest thing in the world. We all learned it, you're good, don't even study. And then the overall grade average dips, but since he's at the peak, that just makes him even better. So I don't think the gym, I don't think these fitness videos need to be so Machiavellian, but it's just something to consider. I mean, look at me now, right? I've got a historical trend, right? Legs gets much less love. Legs get much less love in these training clips because, I mean, less people hit them, but you're here. So I know at least you're smacking your quads around to a reasonable degree. So plan for the overall workout. I'll see. I just gotta see. Get in there, warm up my calves. Really, before I even start anything, I do a little bit of a just rotation. calf raise, leg curl, leg extension on repeat, bounce around, just to kind of get everything sort of warm, and then start usually hamstrings and finish with quads. But we'll see. So if for whatever reason, I get a red light on something, like maybe my knee, I don't know, maybe I slept on it weird and now it's like, do not hit crazy heavy quads, then that's what I'll do, right? I got to listen to that warning system. It's like before you take off on a plane, you got to do a checklist: tires, brakes, engine, flaps, everything else. I mean, that's sort of at least part of something you should be doing if you're getting ready to load, however many plates on squat, however many plates on bench, however many whatever. You got to make sure you're not going to freaking break yourself down in the process. But assuming all goes well, I think this is going to be a good lift. I might not do barbell squats just because I did them last leg day and I don't want to overdo it with my lower back. But I know that at the end of it, I will have a pumped set of legs. I'll be able to sit down in the car, most likely drenched, and say, yippee, go home, eat 150 grams of carbs worth of white rice, 70 grams of protein worth of ground beef, and then a bunch of buffalo sauce mixed in together. That's kind of a classic bulking meal that I don't find much trouble getting down, even on repeat. I mean, frankly, if I could just have a meal or a few meals indefinitely, that was all I got, that would be on the list. That's freaking for sure. So I can guarantee that the gym is going to be freaking dead. So let's just get in there and bring some energy. All right, leg curls first. And honestly, here's my plan: 2, maybe 3 sets here, heavy-ish, failure, 12 or so reps. Do some seated leg curls, and then get quads started. So this is kind of basic enough. I will say this: the only time I'm not gonna, if I don't record a portion of the workout, I'm gonna say it, right? So if I don't normally say something like this, then assume, like if I did 2 sets of cables and 2 sets of chest press and 2 sets of flies and 1 set of cable presses just to finish, then that was it, right? But for hams, I'm just gonna run through hamstring curls first, a little more chill, and then we can get quads really started. So I'll kind of use this as almost some me time per se. But I'm gonna get probably 6, 7 or so sets. I guess I'll tell you in like 3 seconds, and then quads can begin. So I guess I'll see you for quads. So a few minutes have passed. 3 sets of laying curls, followed by 3 sets of heavy seated curls. So hamstrings, I can say, are good. They got hit pretty well. So now, time for quads, which I would almost call the real portion of this lift. And I think I just learned something. If I want to do legs in here, I need to come in the morning before it heats up. It's 88. A little wild. It's not like insane, but it's pretty hot. So plan first, and I guess this could be my I'll do a little step-by-step plan for getting ready for a heavy set of squats. I've already done a plate for a few just to feel it, get my kind of shoulders ready for it, but I always like a set or 2 of leg extensions of some variety, be it double leg failure, single leg alternating. I've been liking the single leg alternating for a little while, but that's just a preference thing. So pick a heavy-ish weight, right leg, 5 reps each until my quads are pretty well hit. I'm not saying every set is to complete absolute muscular failure, because with a set like this, you can kind of just do little scrappy forced reps. Those aren't doing much, right? There's a line where it's like, okay, you did it, right? What are you supposed to do? Side laterals until you physically can't move them from your sides anymore, right? It seems a little silly, but I'll sit here for probably 2, and then we can go over to the squat rack. 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, see what I can work up to. And there's a certain sensitivity to the weight which will decrease when you're about to really do it, right? It's like, you do something in practice a million times, competition, that's where you get antsy, So what I'm talking about here is I might unrack 4 plates and it'll feel fucking heavy. But when I unrack, 5 or whatever the working set ends up being, either more or less, when I'm really amped and I'm going, I got my music, I'm like, this is it. the weight will be lighter, right? You're actually in the zone. I've had days where 4 plates on a warm-up set where I'm just feeling it out feels like 100 pounds heavier than 5 when I'm like fully amped and ready to hit it, right? And all I can say there is just making sure you've got a good preparation. Well, you can do, I would probably say you could do a set of bicep curls to failure with a pretty level head, right? You can be listening to someone's conversation, you're bringing it, but it's kind of a small muscle, right? It's not demanding so much from your freaking brain or, your entire limbic system to say, okay, curl that shit. A squat, very different. I've had sets of squats where guys are fucking screaming at me and I have no idea what they're saying. I can't hear a thing because all I can kind of think about is not getting crushed. That's not, I'm thinking more so just, do good reps, but that's kind of the point I'm getting at. So 2 here and then get ready to squat. And this is actually one functional benefit I haven't been making use of either the, so what the hell was I about to say? Well, either way, but some of these freaking Sulik shirts, I emphasize making sure that the words on the back are kind of a thicker sort of silicone so that on squats, the bar kind of really grips to you. I never really need it for bench. If you've ever seen guys where they have a whole, like the entire back of their shirt is covered in little silicone patches, that's so they can really grip their, their stance. Personally, I've never felt the need for it as much, but I actually really felt the bar like snap onto my back to the point where I couldn't even move it side to side like I normally do to adjust. So, I'm talking just to distract myself. Let's hit this shit. Okay, come on. Got some anti-lifts planned. Okay. Alright, one more. 5 big ones will do the trick. Now, you will, if you're at a gym where people throw some weight around at, then I'm sure you've seen this exact setup, but guys really love throwing the 2.5 pound plates on the sides just for the kick of it, right? To say they're a 500 pound squatter. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know, man. I've never been a micro loading fan. When my squat blows up the most in an off season, which it looks like it's scheduled to for this one. I'll gradually increase the weight. My rule, I guess you could say the Sulik strength building rule, 8 reps minimum, but bring it, right? So what I'm saying is if I got 8 with this much weight today, I'm fresh, I'm strong, I'm ready. If I only got 8, then I'm not gonna go heavier than this next week or next leg day, right? Assuming I still feel good. Now, if I get like 10, maybe I'll do the same weight. Maybe I'll up it by, 20 pounds, so 10 on each side. But if I did like 11 reps today or 12, that's my cue. I got it, right? Throw a 10 the next time. Maybe throw a 15 on the side the next time, a 50 pound jump in a week or in a few days, it's a bit much. But my logic is, at least how it's worked so far, is if you can do 8, do it again so you can do like 11 or 12, and then up the weight. If it's like one of your, crazy or heavy sets, I would be,
well, not only would I be freaked out, I just wouldn't do a weight if I only thought I could get 4 reps or 5 reps. That's, in a bodybuilding sense, because I'm not used to that kind of training, I'd call that the danger zone. Now, if you train like that all the time, doing, 3x3s or whatever, then you're good. Obviously, you're used to that. I'm not used to those lower reps, right? So I want to go as heavy as I can with volume, right? I'm talking speed and weight. Usually you've got a choice between the two. I'm talking putting a V12 and a Miata here, but give me a little bit to get amped up. I really do want to bring myself into the zone, and assuming that I get in the groove, I should get at least 7 in a row without having to stop to rest. My last time squatting a few days ago, I had to stop at 4 just to kind of, breathe for a second, re-brace, and then do 2, brace, 2 again, brace, then 1 more. Or maybe it was 2, I don't remember. But yeah, having to stop at 4 and then doing 6 more, that's a little wild. I want to get to the point, or I want to get back to the point where I can do 10 in a row straight here, and then stand up for a few seconds and crank out those few extra reps. But give me a moment to get amped, find a song that really gets me in the fucking zone, and then throw the shit around. Oh, fuck. Oh. 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 Oh, crap. Oh, my God, it's heavy. Oh, I gotta sit down. My ears are ringing after that one. I had to seek refuge in the front office because that's the only room that has AC. This place is perfect in the winter. It's got a badass heater. It's a little too warm in here right now. But I've got a plan. Potentially a torturous one, so I'm kind of having second thoughts. But I think a good set is supposed to do that to you, right? At least for legs, I'm not necessarily doing every set thinking, all right, I'm excited to hit this set. Let's get after it. It's almost a thought process more akin to like, oh shit, all right. If somebody's trying to peer pressure you into something and you're just, okay, come on. So leg extensions as a pre-exhaust, moderate weight. I'm not talking about anything crazy here. Just 100 pounds. Double leg, squeeze it, hold it at the top. That's just for, a preemptive burn and, pre-exhaust. Nothing so crazy, but enough that it's going to hinder my ability to do those 9 plates on the leg press. I would have gone for 10, but there's only 9 on each side. And I didn't want to walk all the way around. Maybe that's my laziness coming into play. But either way, this is a good combo. And I made I had a whole talk about this a few days ago. I think it was with chest. Or actually, it might have been on a leg day. I don't really remember for sure. But I think there's definitely something to doing a superset. So I'm talking the same muscle group instantly after the other. So 2 movements combined as one kind of, double set, where the styles of each movement differ drastically, right? I don't understand, or I don't think we'd see the appeal of doing leg press instantly supersetted with that other leg press. I mean, it's got a different strength curve, but it's the same motion, right? I'm not going to superset dumbbell bench to barbell bench. If anything, I'll just do a drop set and do dumbbell bench again with lighter weight. But what I would do is pressing immediately into flies, or pullovers immediately into rows, or pull downs immediately into rows, or sometimes leg curls immediately into lighter RDLs. So that's the plan here. Leg extensions immediately to leg press. And the biggest difference of these two, which I think makes them play together rather well, is there's not a crazy stretch on light leg extensions, but there is a really nuts squeeze and burn at the top. This straight leg position, that's the resting position of the leg press. So it's almost adding a certain, just different angle, right? Instead of just a double jab, you're doing a body blow first, right? Hitting it from different angles. So that's the plan here. And I think I'll just repeat a few of these until I can't do it anymore. I think that's a pretty decent mentality when it comes to quads. Because, I don't think they're going to get better stimulus if I do 2 of these and 2 of the hack and 2 of the pendulum and 2, whatever a good press is that day. I think just stick with it. And until you, basically exhaust your resources, just stay there, right? No need to complicate it. I want to change my workups lift by lift, but day by day, I've had chest days where all I did was a bunch of incline bench and then a set of flies to finish, and it was one of my fucking best lifts I can remember, So it's more so kind of overarching theme of intensity versus the nitpicky details of what's really going on. But, I'm catching myself again talking instead of working. So, quit fucking distracting me. Oh, yeah, come on. All right, okay. Okay. Two more of those, I think. All right. Okay, this might be it actually. Okay, that's good. Oh, I think that's it. Holy sh! Oh man. Oh, let's see how legs look. All right. So I know this is a leg pose down, but I'm pretty sure I've reached drippable levels. Let's find out. Oh yeah. Isn't that great? Still, oh, I gotta know if I'm doing legs to bring a spare freaking shirt. I'm glad I got leather seats. If my car was, if the Camry had fabric seats, I think that may actually influence the speed of its replacement, because then it would really fucking stink. But the sweat doesn't really seep into the leather so bad. So, quad-wise, feeling relatively beastly. What I'm really getting excited about is what these things are gonna look come a good dieting phase late this year. You know, because, you know, pumped up, quads kind of lose their allure. You know, they're no longer so freaky and veiny. Plus, if your waist is a little bit, or if your just whole torso is a bit bigger from holding on to more body fat, relatively, it's kind of going to shrink your legs a little, you know? So your limbs, I mean, actually every body part doesn't struggle, but benefits from essentially getting ratioed. Now, not in the way you might think, right? I'm talking when your waist sinks in and all your joints kind of, you know, suction up to the bones and the sinew and everything else because you lose that excess layer of body fat. I mean, if you're bulked up, I mean, I've got a pretty decent wide shoulder, narrowish waist, wider legs kind of ratio. But when I'm peeled, hit a solid ass vacuum, my legs look twice as big as freaking normal, you know? So that's where I'm more concerned with making sure that these sets add up to a good lift. Not so much that I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, well, new quad veins. Not exactly. You know, as much as we talk about veins as like kind of a stage to surpassing, like, holy crap, new bicep vein, I'm making new gains. It's not exactly an aspect of the working out that's just a linear progression. You don't lift for a long time and then suddenly you're just huge and veiny and lean. It's a little more of a roundabout path because you get kind of big, you're a little bit softer, you know, 14, 15% body fat, and then you peel down and then you've got those veins that you built up underneath. You know, you're building a skyscraper here. You gotta have scaffolding on the outside in the beginning. And then once it's done, you reveal it by removing it. And then you see what you were really, you know, architecting all along. Who cares? That's not exactly the right word. But let's get out of here. I need not a cold shower, but I definitely don't need a hot one. There we go. So, obviously, numbers are numbers. You know, it's much cooler to see a 180-pound dude rep 350 for 15 than it is to see Eddie Hall squat 400. For Eddie Hall, 400 is like 225, right? It's nothing. His strength is that nuts, you know? So it, you know, strength on its own, it's definitely more of a ratio of size to, you know, your ability to exert force. But I tell you something, it's a rare sight. Now, of course, this depends on the gyms you go to see any more than 4 plates moving for legit working sets. Deadlifts get a little funky.
the deadlift has been, well, I wouldn't say bastardized, because from my perspective, I don't know. I'm not a deadlifter. The most I've ever deadlifted successfully was 405 in high school. Actually, that was pretty early. That was like year one, or within year one of working out. For one, with straps. I tried 450. I got it to my shins, but couldn't actually finish it. But that was the last time I tried it. I'm glad I can have an exit story from deadlifting that doesn't involve a herniated disc. I don't know what threw me off, but after that first time hitting it back then, I don't know, maybe I lost interest. I must have heard a bodybuilder or a lifter who I was watching at the time say that they didn't see the point and they'd rather do like chest supported stuff and lat work to widen their upper back. That must have been why. I probably didn't just stop doing it on my own. I must have heard it from someone else. But apart from that, which we've seen guys who are like 160 doing 7 plates sumo, where the plates only come a few inches off the ground. But that's not what I'm here to discuss. So seeing anywhere above 5 plates moving, even just above 4 plates, people are going to be looking. Not even necessarily to be impressed. Sometimes just as a spectacle, right? And there's two ways to look at it. I'm sure you've seen someone do 4 plates and you say, oh shit, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. And I'm sure you've also seen someone do 4 plates where you say, holy crap, I gotta see what happens here. I'm watching a guy park his car in front of a moving train. We've all seen that. But rarer still is to see 5 plates moving around. And this was something I really wish I got a picture of. So this is back in college. Me and my buddy Maverick. So he was beefing up. Now he's kind of trimmed down a bit more. But we were having what turned out to be a squat off, because at my school's gym, the squat racks were just 6 interconnected rogue racks in the center. So 2, 2, 2, right? 2 sets of them in a row. And then we both had 5 plates across from each other, and we were going back and forth warming up, and then we must have only done like 1 or 2 working sets. But still, that was, man, I wish I had a picture of that. It's definitely something to see that much steel move around. So that's the benefit of if you've ever been to a gym where its populace is, let's just say, abnormal, because it's a freaking motivating factor. Because as far as I'm concerned, that is the biggest benefit of being able to look at your phone and seeing the top 1% of anything. Of fitness, of bodybuilding, of powerlifting, of whatever sport or interest that you're in, because you can see where the bar really is. There's a certain small-mindedness if you're only comparing yourself to the people that are directly around you, who you get to interact with, because it could inadvertently, maybe limit where you want to go. It's like that experiment where they put a bunch of fleas in a jar, or maybe it was like, I don't know, some kind of bug. And they put a lid on it, right? So now every time the flea jumps up, it realizes like, oh, this is the limit. This is as high as I can freaking jump. And then once you take the lid off, right? Now there's no more limit. The thing can freaking go as high as it wants. It still doesn't jump out of the freaking jar, because it's been trained to only go this high. You know what I'm saying? So to see, videos of every kind of powerlifter, bodybuilder dude, or anything, and to see like, okay, this can be done. That's probably the most motivating thing I can think of, because the fact that somebody else managed to do something, it's not a guarantee that you'll be able to do it, but it's a guarantee it can be done. It's like how all of the 100-meter dash world records, or really any kind of world record for the most part, except for a few outliers, where it's like one dude who just had the craziest genetics or just craziest skill in the world, who like totally beat the odds of everybody else. But for the most part, if some records or limits are kind of at a standstill, it's like, oh, nobody's going to break the 10-second barrier, nobody's going to break the 9.5-second barrier, or anything like that. As soon as one person does it, as soon as one person manages to make it happen, now the approach from everyone else on whatever that thing is
is it's no longer this unattainable, like, never before seen capability or skill. It's something somebody did already. And if there's anything that's kind of a motivator to get people to do whatever it may be, it's to see somebody else do it first, right? If you you might not want to jump off your local lake's cliff into the water or something, but if you see somebody else do it before you, it's like, all right, he did it, he was okay. I guess it's all right, like sort of little things like that. So to look up to the guys who are taking it to the absolute extreme of effort, intensity, consistency, the guys I think who get the furthest in any kind of endeavor are just the ones who enjoy it the most. Those are great examples. And it's not because it's not because somebody's an awesome dude, they've got the best value system in the world. But if you're looking at something as just a simple skill, performance kind of perspective, the fact that someone was able to do it, the fact that guys can stick to a diet, the fact that guys can make insane body fat transformations and look completely unrecognizable from what they did a year ago, 2 years ago, I look at that and I see, all right, these guys did it. What's stopping me? So that's kind of my point there. If it's been done before, it can be done again. And take it one step further, it can be outdone. Now that's a little trickier, of course, but the bar's been set pretty high for fitness to the point where if you're a bit more of a lifter rather than like a full-on competitive bodybuilder, dude, bring it. The idea of overtraining, of overdoing it, that's a situation that does not happen very often. Coming into the gym and hitting PPL or push-pull or the Arnold split or anything 6 days a week with a rest day, and you're eating your protein shakes and you're tracking your protein, that's not overdoing it. That is not even freaking close. So I think there's always room to bring it at least a little bit more. So that's all I got there. A little bit of a later upload. I'm gonna do a little kitchen restock tomorrow, so I'll bring you along to the grocery cart. We can do a little baby action where I get you sitting in the front following me around, because I need some things for tomorrow. I'm not gonna spoil it. So that's a good set of squats, reasonably solid sets of leg press. I don't know. I felt that I definitely did not eat enough before this lift. I gotta max out my fullness, as it were. But either way, a very good lift. I can go home a happy camper, eat a big ass meal, and hopefully go to bed early so I can wake up early and then get after it even earlier. So, plan for tomorrow with chest. You know what I'm gonna do. All right, 4 letters, and P is at the beginning and the end, right? So, you do the math there. But I'll see you tomorrow.